Hello everyone, and thank you for clicking on one of my videos. I am Screen Scene Guru, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the current weather situation that's going on in California with their fires. This is going into week 2. I know a lot of people have been concerned about the Santa Ana winds continuing to pick up and fuel these fires going along the Palisades neighborhood. Um, I've got a little bit of notes jotted down, so I just want to go over a few of them with you, get your thoughts, theories, opinions. But going on into my first little bit of notes, we've got the former Vice President Kamala Harris after the inauguration of the 47th President Donald Trump. She went to her community back in California and started handing out food, helping first responders, firefighters that are dealing with the flames there in California, which is really good to see. We also got to see that the Palisades fire, as of current information from, I believe it was NBC News, we had 59% containment, but it was still growing due to the winds. Um, then we also got a Grenada highway fire, brush fire, that started up on the freeway, and I believe got contained, and they were able to put that one out. There was a lot of traffic backed up because of it. They had to go into the middle lanes, having to go away from the side where all the brush was burning. We also got the chamber fire in Helmet. So a lot of fires propping up because of the winds in areas where there were 80 miles, 70-mile, 100-mile-an-hour winds, which are historic for these times, given that right now they're in even though California doesn't get a typical winter, they shouldn't be getting these level of fires. Also, going into one of these topics, the threat was high for winds and low. The threat was high winds and low humidity, which has been the current situation this whole time. They haven't gotten rain in 8 months, so they're super dried out. Um, and it's dead of winter, which is interesting to see all these fires go through. They really need some assistance from Mother Nature, but there is no rain in the foreseeable future. So they're just having to currently fight this with what means we can with our fire crews on the ground and our planes dropping water payloads. Um, but the Eaton fire was at an 89% containment. So we got some facts on that. Good to know because that one was really devastating for the Altadena community. They lost a lot of people in that one. It was one of the most uh, life loss tragic events in California, I think, modern history for fires. Um, they're going to definitely come across more in the next coming weeks. But as far as they've got for charts right now, 14,021 acres burned, um, all convoluting into 9,416 structures lost, which all fall into the category of either business or homes. People were lived or had a small business were all gone. Um, uh, they've also made several arrests of transit people. They haven't exactly explained why, but there's up to 9 individuals that have started small fires on their own. They've yet to explain what are their causes. I have a theory they might be upset due to the current presidential decision. I'm not sure how they're getting together and organizing. We've also heard quite an outlandish tale about people impersonating first responders. There's a news blurb I wrote down a little bit about. News Nation covered this. 2 firefighters from Oregon um, that were dressed as first responders drove down in a fire truck, 2 fire trucks that they bought at an auction, and they were posing as first responders in the Palisades for several days, but they were actually looting homes and gathering their loot, and they were caught in the act and they were arrested. Um, and I just think that's very weird to hear, that all this stuff is going down right around the same time. Uh, I don't know who would be responsible for this. A lot of people are trying to connect their own dots. I leave it up to you, the audience, of what you guys think. Um, One of them, yeah, was a convicted arsonist. So it's just blatantly throwing it in our face that these are criminals um, organizing down in California during the midst of these fires and trying to reap the benefits of this community at a loss, which is really sad to see. But of course, their law enforcement down there is really cracking down hard on them. They're hitting them with heavy sentences, so you don't have to worry about that. Uh, but just interesting to hear 9 people were arrested in connection to this arson in the last 2 weeks in California, which I don't think that's ever happened on record. I have to fact check that, but 9 people in 2 weeks arrested for arson in a time where they're having these historic wind storms. I don't know what the hell is going on, but what are your guys' thoughts? Um, we've also got a really bad renting problem. There's a housing crisis, of course, going on in California. As you would know, you're watching the news, you're hearing about the experts talk about the analytics. I'm here with a little bit of news I've jotted down. They're estimating 5,000 new renters locally. That's just within 10 minutes of the Palisades area. Um, they're saying no one can find a decent priced rental. They've gone back through the charts back to the month of December, right before the beginning of the year, and they can track back that prices have gone up 3 times, even though they have in the state of California laws in place to prevent this price gouging during crisis. They're going to have to go back and slap these people with fines, and these people are going to have to pay back their money. I'm not exactly sure how it's all going to go down, but people are being suggested to get lawyers and attorneys to represent them. And I know not a lot of people have the means to do that. So I thought that was interesting to hear. I don't know how that is going to play out either. But 2,000 units had different prices in December compared to January. They said the prices just went outrageously up skyrocketed. I've also got down 2,000 properties were listed in a week that were available for renting, where that's really high for an average week. They said in a given month that was normal, 200,000 properties being listed and rented, but not in a week. They're at a max capacity. They're at an overload, at a breaking point almost in their housing situation in California, which is something to be very concerned about. Gavin Newsom, their governor, should be calling an alarm. I know they got state of emergencies all up to high alert. They've got National Guard called down there. They've got FEMA, all kinds of things, resources. But it's just interesting to see it pull down. The state that we thought was higher and maybe not, I don't want to say higher, but maybe you thought had a bit more of a plan when it comes to these fires. They've faced them before, and now they've just gotten so much um, out of control due to the weather that they are just having to cover what they can. Um, but it's estimated 30% of people that left were going to return. 30% weren't going to return. Now is believed the estimation has gone up to 60, somewhere between 64 and 80% may not be able to come back and rebuild their homes because of rezoning and other issues about them just not being able to actually do the manual work. A lot of these people were older, retired already, and they didn't have family or relatives to help them rebuild, so they're just going to have to leave their home altogether. So that's a contributing factor to consider. Um, they were saying recently the lilac fire and the Paula fire have recently started up also in the morning hours, with the lilac reaching 80 acres, close to homes. They've evacuated areas. They've got close to 150 firefighters on the ground fighting it currently. They've done uh, water dumps on the area with the helicopters. And the Paula fire recently started with 30 acres. They're just popping up everywhere because of the wind, really propping them up to start up. But really hoping that they're going to get a handle on this. I'm hoping that the winds calm down. We are seeing forecasts of the winds being up for the next 2 days. There are red flag warnings up in alerts. We have heard that people are going through it all again, but they also have a bigger plan. I believe in neighborhoods they've deployed more units with more water hydro trucks with a full supply of water, so they're not having to depend on the water pressure from the state, the city anymore. Now they're bringing in their own independent water, which, I mean, that's kind of also a concern to have to do. But they are doing that in neighborhoods, and they're prepping them before the fire even reaches them, which is good. It's saving homes, which is good to see. But I will probably do some more videos on the topic. I'm keeping you up to date. Um, Thank you for watching. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are on the fires currently going on in California. Our prayers are going out to all the people having to face all that and deal with the fires, of course, first responders, everything. Yeah, that will do it for this video. Thank you very much. Bye.